Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Atlanta. So glad you are here. We're going to sing some songs together. Please rise in body or in spirit. This one might be new to you, but it's lovely. You'll catch on. We'll sing it like 50 times. Come as you are, all are welcome. Come as you are. That's the whole thing. Come as you are, all are welcome. Come as you are. Try some harmonies. Come as you are, all are welcome. Come as you are. That's nice. We got some singers in here. Come as you are, all are welcome. Come as you are. Here's another one. The text is by Rumi. It's called Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leading. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leading. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Let's do it as a round. This wasn't planned.
Yes,
Well, let's just play around,
yes.
huh? You get to be part one over here. The middle section's part two, and part three over here. Let's just see what happens, huh? Go for it. Come, come, whoever you are. Your turn. Come, come, whoever you are.
Ours is no caravan of despair.
Come yet again, come. One more time. Come,
Come, whoever you are, wanderer,
come, whoever you are.
leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair.
Wanderer,
Yet
worshiper.
again, come.
Last line. Come, no caravan
Yonder
of.
you are.
Last line. Come yet again, come. Well, that was fun. Nice.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please, yes, indeed, take your seats. Welcome, everyone. My name is Reverend Mykal Slack, Community Minister for Worship and Spiritual Care for Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism. It gives me great joy to be with you again this morning at the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Atlanta, where we are transforming lives through courageous action and soulful connection. Quien quiera que seas y donde quiera que estés en tu jornada de la vida o del espíritu, te damos la bienvenida a nuestros corazones. Whoever you are, wherever you are on the journey of life or the journey of spirit, we welcome you into our hearts. No matter where you come from or what your life happens to be like, regardless of whether or not you have access to meaningful work, no matter who you love or how you understand relationships, no matter your gender or gender expression or how those things may shift and change in your life. We want you to know, in case you didn't already, that this is a space of healing, of love, of joy, learning, and grace. May it be yours and all of ours while we are here together and as we leave this place. At this time, I would like to invite my daughter, Zora, to join me on the chancel to light our chalice. Thank you. I'm going to switch sides with you. All right, ready? Let's grab this. There we go. Oh, there we go. Let us join together in saying our chalice lighting words. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Our story this morning is We Are Better Together by Bill McKibben, illustrations by Stevie Lewis. The human game is a team sport. It is. It took a band, a clan, a community to raise humans to adulthood. We hunted together in groups. With our complex language, we are able to keep track of one another. When we work together, we can do incredible things. We can harness the power of the sun. We can reforest the land. We can help lost sea turtles find their way to the ocean. We can explore the farthest reaches of space, and looking back, we can see how we are changing our planet. It's a beautiful, fragile place, worthy of protection. We can accept with grace that each of us has a moment and a place, that our humanness is important. We have the tools to allow us to stand up to the powerful and the reckless. We know the value of love. It's love that works to feed the hungry. It's love that comes together in defense of sea turtles and sea ice and all else around us that is good. It's love that lets each of us see we are not the most important thing on earth and makes us okay with that. It's love that welcomes us, imperfect, into the world. We live on an unbearably beautiful planet, a planet that needs us, humans, to play together and cooperate. We're capable of acting together to do remarkable things. So we'd best get started soon.
I'd like to invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in this morning's movement prayer. If it's new for you, you'll just follow along. It's easy. First, we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude, and we breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world and remember to be present. Honor embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to invite all our children, 3rd grade and under, to exit and join their preschool or creative workshops for this morning. Please note the location is just down the hall on the 1st floor. As the children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor, especially someone you haven't met yet. Each other. It's nice.
Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing.
Come, mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand.
Thank you. Our reading is from The Next American Revolution, Sustainable Activism for the 21st Century, written by Grace Lee Boggs. Art can help us envision the new cultural images we need to grow our souls. As the labor movement developed in the pre-World War II years, John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath transformed the way that Americans viewed themselves in relationship to faceless bankers and heartless landowners. In the 1970s and 1980s, artist Judy Chicago's exhibits, The Dinner Party and Birth Project, reimagined the vagina, transforming it from a private space and site of oppression into a public space of beauty and spiritual, as well as physical creation and liberation. In this period, we need artists to create new images that will liberate us from our preoccupation with constantly expanding production and consumption, and open up space in our hearts and minds to imagine and create another America that will be viewed by the world as a beacon rather than a danger.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. We are climbing on. If I stumble, will you help me? If I stumble, will you help me? If I stumble, will you help me? We are climbing on. Though the road is steep and rugged, though the road is steep and rugged, though the road is steep and rugged, we are climbing on.
Let us put hands on hearts. Feel the heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal the world. You are invited to say the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. Speak their names out loud into this holy space now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find ways to be more loving to one another. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest in holy gratitude today. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times we may have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. We honor our earth, supporting and sustaining life. We breathe in, opening our hearts to wonder for just one moment, feeling a deep connection with all beings. Let us calm our bodies and our minds now. We breathe in peace, and then we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing on. Ashe.
And I hope you had your coffee this morning because I have a quiz for you. What country has more than 2 million people incarcerated at any given time? By a show of hands, how many people think it's Russia? How many think it's China? Iran? How many think it's the United States? You are so smart. You must be Unitarian Universalists. And clearly, you've been paying attention. On past Sundays, we've learned that the majority of those incarcerated are Black, Latinx, and Indigenous people. We've learned that prisons are often overcrowded and brutal places with little public oversight. And we've learned that Georgia, our state, has the highest rate of incarceration of any state in the country. We've also heard from heroes like Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock, one of the founders of the multi-faith movement to end mass incarceration. When we fight to end mass incarceration, Senator Warnock says, we fight for voting rights, we fight against job discrimination, and we fight for the humanity and dignity of poor people. Thanks to leaders like Joy Bora and Andrea Barra, and supporters like Diane Loop and Roger Easley, UUCA has joined with like-minded and like-hearted congregations to address this human rights catastrophe. You supported this work on past Sundays in June. We'll ask you again to do so this final Sunday, in which we share our plate with a multi-faith movement to end mass incarceration. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
So Reverend Mykal and I have been making music together for like 10 or 12 years. We met up in Boston making music, and so when he's here on Sunday, we usually do the same thing, and so we planned entirely different music for this service, but I was going to sing this next song, and the Atlanta Gay Men's Chorus, along with the other two queer choruses here in Atlanta, we're heading up to Minneapolis in 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that, for the Gay and Lesbian Association every 4-year festival, which didn't happen 4 years ago, because, you know. And so it's been 8 years since this festival has happened, and so we're rehearsing this song. And I was going to play it myself, and then in Thursday's rehearsal, I was like, this is just so much better when you do it. So now they're here. This is about 20 members of the 92 guys. We have 92 going up to Minneapolis in 10 days, and 140 total in the group. But here's these 20 singing All I Know So Far by Pink. 3, 4.
Show you how to live like you're will be with you till the world blows up. Yeah. Up and down, down and through, till the world blows up. Yeah. When it's right or it's all messed up, till the world blows up. Till the world blows up, and we will be enough. And until the world blows up, just throw your hair back and spin in the wind. Let the walls crack, 'cause it lets the light in. Let them drag you through hell, they can tell you to change who you are. And when the storm's out, you run in the rain, put your sword down, dive right into the pain, stay unfiltered and loud, you'll be proud of that skin full of scars. That's all I know so far. That's all I know. That's all I know so far. That's all I know so far. That's all I know so far. That's all I know so far.
All right, after that, you're going to have to do the dedication in a really rousing voice. All right. Please join me in a rousing dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives and these our offerings. Amen.
And after this.
Okay.
Whew. Yeah. Hey, y'all. One Sunday morning, in the early days of my church life, I witnessed something both beautiful and heartbreaking. We'd had powerful worship that day. The word and the music had us all on fire. It was incredible. It was one of the most incredible things I'd ever experienced. Near the end of the service, during the closing song, a young man who I happened to know had AIDS and had been quite sick throughout that year, suddenly got up from his seat and started dancing. He'd been a ballet dancer before he got sick, and according to congregants who knew him well, had not danced for years. But that day, something stirred in him in body and in spirit, and he danced. He danced. There was a middle aisle at this church, and he literally danced up and down this aisle. It was incredible to witness. Arms outstretched. I think he probably even did a pirouette at some point during this whole thing. It seemed like it was going on forever, but I'm sure it had only taken a couple of minutes. It was clear that the Spirit had moved in him and needed him to do something with it. And that's what he chose. It remains truly one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. happened spontaneously in service. Not too long after he got up, though, the pastor of that church managed to ever so quietly, and as I remember, pretty gently, walked up to him, tapped him lightly on the shoulder, and whispered something in his ear. A rush of sadness came across his face. And just as quietly as she got up to speak with him, he sat down. I found out later that she had asked him to sit down because that was not the right time to dance. The worship leaders of the church had never incorporated dance into their liturgy, and so, it just wasn't done. It didn't matter that this was probably the first time he had danced since he had become sick. It didn't matter that the dance came directly out of being so moved in this particular service that was all he could do. It didn't matter that he'd lost his voice in far too many ways in the world as a person living with AIDS, and that his dance was his voice rising up again. It had never been done, and so it was disruptive, and so it could not be done. In this season that honestly lasts from June to October, right? When thousands of queer and trans and non-binary folks and our loved ones are celebrating Pride, as we gear up to consider and observe and celebrate our independence, in the throes of political upheaval. That's what I'm going to call it today. I could call it a lot of things, but I'm on the chancel. So what I'm going to call it is political upheaval that has had the direct result of some of us fearing for our very lives. And yes, even in the aftermath of our faith's General Assembly, that I'm sure many of us were a part of in some way, even if it was watching it on screen virtually, where far too many of us experienced harm in a process that is supposed to uphold the very best of our values and principles as Unitarian Universalists. It should come as no surprise that I show up honestly and truly worried about all of us. Worried about all of us. I come before you uncertain about what it means for us to have and give voice in our movement. And I find myself wondering why we continue to struggle to create spaces that heal more than they harm. In the midst of all that we face as human beings in the world, in this country, this state, thank you for that incredible information, Dr. Tony. As human beings in this very community, in all of the communities that we call home, I'm thinking about that dancer today, whose very body and spirit were considered disruptions to address rather than love to behold. As I stand here, I also come with some clarity. Clarity that the only way through these times, the only way through, is to reinvent how we engage with one another honestly and reimagine how we do life together accountably. Can we say accountably together? Accountably. Lord have mercy. We can only do it if we reinvent how we engage one another honestly and reimagine how we do life together accountably in our world and in the communities we call home, including right here in our Unitarian Universalism. I and others think of this revisioning as transformative ministry. And transformative ministry becomes possible when we invest in the unconventional, make room for what we may not fully understand or even agree with. And remember what Grace Lee Boggs lifted up in her book, that, and I quote, "Our catastrophes are not acts of nature, but the consequences of our own ideas and actions," unquote. And so, we can bring those catastrophes to an end by transforming the way we have been thinking and living. I have to talk about my chorus brothers here. Sorry, I didn't tell you I was doing this. I'll apologize later. Since September of 2022, I have been a proud tenor two. Tenor twos? Are there any tenor twos? I know there are. Yep. I've been a proud tenor two of the Atlanta Gay Men's Chorus, some of whom are here, as you heard, singing for us today. Perhaps it was around this time last year, or maybe a little earlier, that our artistic director, our very own Donald Milton III, as well as David Aurelio, who's the executive director, and Gabrielle Claiborne, a board member from Voices of Note, the nonprofit that supports the existence of AGMC and the Atlanta Women's Chorus, invited trans and non-binary members of the chorus, of whom there are many. I don't have the exact number, but there are many of us, but invited us into a conversation about the possibility of doing a show that honestly and accountably honored the lived experiences of trans and non-binary people. They asked us how to do that show well. They listened to us share stories about our journeys and the music that influenced who we are and are becoming. Every single song from that show, Transformation, was chosen by trans and non-binary members of the chorus and of the wider Atlanta community. Some of us, some of you, I know, were able to attend that stunningly beautiful show. Yes, hey, that's right. And some of you just heard for the first time 2 of the songs that we did during that show. One here in Atlanta on April 6th, and 2 shows in Hendersonville, North Carolina, for Hendersonville Pride on June 15th. All of the work that leadership did to ensure our care and our safety in the process honestly would have been enough. It would have been enough for me. But something else far more powerful happened. Each of us, as chorus members, were made new. We were made new in the process of consideration and meaning making that was also new to all of us. We had never done a show like that before, had never considered music like that before, had never reached out to people in those ways. Don is amazing. Don can put a show together. Donald Milton III, y'all know, Donald can put a show together. But it had never been done like that before. And Donald, and I wasn't even thinking about this, but it feels really rich to say now, even Donald as a leader did this. You all actually know better than I do. Tell me how to do this. Help me. I'm sure at least a few of you know how hard that is for a leader to do. But that's what he did. And it made a difference. Coming into new or revised understanding about the need for a public voice of support for trans and non-binary members, particularly as we face all of the harm of anti-trans legislation all over the country, my chorus brothers offered love and care in a way that was unexpected. They asked meaningful questions and took to heart what they were learning. They were open to learning. The overwhelming majority of cis chorus brothers respected what we needed as trans and non-binary members to get through this cycle of deeply emotional and spiritual music making, because that's what it was. Music that touched on our joy, our pain, our growth, harm that had been done, and healing that was made possible both by our inside and outside voices. At a particular point in the cycle of rehearsals, when the basses sang, "I will be with you till the world blows up. Yeah." I believed them. Do you hear what I'm saying? I believed them. It became less about the words on the sheet music than it was about what it felt like to hear the sounds of those sentiments leaping up off the page by actual people who actually believed what they were singing. Hear me. Our Unitarian Universalism means nothing. Nothing. Just because we have the right words on the right pages brought forth by the right process at the right time. It's about what we mean to do and how we endeavor to be when we lift up off the page the ideas, the theologies, the meanings of what is truest and best about our faith. Every single time our basses sing those words, I feel held in a way that is virtually impossible to describe. From being in a chorus of people I could sing with every Thursday night, and each time we grace a stage together, wherever that stage happens to be. There is artistry in holding the complexities of how we connect with one another, including how we uphold the very best of our faith. A kind of creative spirit required in being fully present in a way that makes room for everyone else's equally full presence, especially when we don't understand or are unsure of the outcome of making room. But it takes persistence, audacity, humbleness, a healthy curiosity, and a commitment to community to live into this artistry and this creativity. It matters how we show up for one another. What would it mean? What would it mean to learn more deeply and more accountably how to help all of us feel held in our faith communities in ways that are virtually impossible to describe? Because they're so authentic and good. How can we reimagine and relearn new ways of showing up well for one another, even when we disagree, and especially when it's hard? Because let me tell you, it's going to be hard a lot of the time. So I'm not going to lie to you and suggest that it was easy for all of us this past cycle. It was not. Not everyone was supportive or was willing to be. Can we tell that truth? I don't believe everyone showed up well-intentioned. In the beautiful ministry that was happening all around them while we learned and sang that music. Not everyone is well-intentioned. It's an honest truth. And we made it through because what mattered most was the clarity of vision to do no harm and to center love in the work. This work that is ours to do is no small task, friends. Especially in the context of community. You can sit at home by yourself and think all kinds of lovely things, and it's going to be great. And we'll be glad for you. It's especially hard in community, but it is possible. What did Bill McKibben say in our Time for All Ages? When we work together, we can do incredible things. We can harness the power of the sun, reforest the land, help lost sea turtles find their way to the ocean. We can explore the farthest reaches of space, and looking back, we can see how we are changing our planet. It's beautiful, fragile. It's a beautiful, fragile place, worthy of our protection. I would say it is, and we are worthy of our protection and our grace. Whose dance will we miss in the name of conventionality? Whose joy will we squash because we're so attuned to what feels good and right to us in our own individual bodies that we lose out on the possibilities laid bare by someone else's experience in community? Whose song will we silence because we've just never done whatever that thing is that way before? I want us to celebrate in all the ways we feel led. I really do. I need us to experience joy and rest, hopefulness, and a clarity of vision about how to really put love at the center of our faith, and it matters that we are mindful and care-filled. Mindful that there are many communities within this one community. Care-filled in our approach to that reality, and accountable to what it means to do no harm in this and other communities we call home. Mindful of the investment we collectively make to each of us being our whole, full, beautiful selves. Care-filled enough not to repeat patterns just because we're comfortable with them that hurt more than they heal. We Unitarian Universalists may be moving ever more meaningfully to this place of mindfulness and care-filledness, having just voted in our General Assembly last week to change Article 2 of our bylaws in a way that orients us toward our values and covenants in a new way. This graphic, attributed to artist Tanya Webster, is a visual expression of these shared values that put love at the center. The Article 2 Study Commission and so many others, so many people, y'all, so many people did a stunning amount of work over the last many years to connect individuals and congregations to this revisioning of our principles into values and covenants. I am certainly grateful for that work. I know many of us are. How we will help these words leap up off the page and give life to people in a world that is on fire is up to us. I believe we can do this. Now is the time. Whole lives and whole futures, including the future of this faith, depend on it. Depend on us. Let's go. Amen. Ashe. And blessed be. Woo!
Reverend Mykal Slack, everybody. Please rise, and you're already up. We're going to sing a little Come and Go With Me. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound.
Friends, let me say it again because I think it bears repeating. I believe we can do this. Now is the time. Whole lives and whole futures, including the future of this faith, depend on it and depend on us. Let's go get it, y'all. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Go in peace, everybody. See you next week.